Hoo. Live from the crazy house. Set it off. Set it off. West side in this mother right here. West side. Approach you in post a minute. I'm in my double R tinted as you pass by, winking my eye freshly tinted. What's the hats, baby? Come get with me and perhaps, baby. You can help me multiply my stacks, baby. We got some news. Teofimo Lopez. Jaron boots Ennis. You heard? Could they fight? 2025? That's what I'll talk about in this video. From the top, Boxing Scene is reporting that they have an interview that they did with Bob Arum, and you guys see it. Bob Arum wants Teofimo Lopez versus Jaron boots Ennis. This is the fight we want. And they got a picture of Teo smiling. So he said he got to get him some blacks. We're going to talk about it. By Lance Pugmire. It's a major fight that makes so much sense. Now all that's needed is the money and the courage. Top-ranked chairman Bob Arum told Boxing Scene he's aiming to stage a welterweight 147 title fight between his two-division current 140-pound champ Teofimo Lopez and IBF champ Jaron boots Ennis. And it says, quote, "That is the fight that we want. I believe we can make it happen," says Bob Arum. Arum previously said he's planning a major bout for Lopez 21-1 record for March in Madison Square Garden. Lopez, 27, told reporters at Saturday's Phoenix card the Navarrete destroyed Oscar Valdez video is on the channel, so you guys can check that. And he said he was interested in Boots, Tank, and Terrence Crawford, which I've already talked about. Arum said a top-ranked attorney has been in talks with Ennis promoter Eddie Hearns. So they've already started the preliminary talks. Hearn to make the bout with the plan of it being staged as a joint pay-per-view between ESPN and DAZN. We'd ante up for Teofimo and Eddie would ante up for Boots Ennis. Arum's plan follows concerns from Lopez camp. Saturday, that top rank alone couldn't fund the bout. They'll never go for it. Lopez could be playing a game of musical chairs, the official said. Lopez has been perturbed by the cheaper assignments of Claggett and also Jermaine Ortiz. So that's where we're at. And I know you guys want to know my thoughts. That's why you guys clicked on the video. Where do I begin? All right, my thoughts are this. It's a good fight. I think Jaron Ennis, well, actually both fighters, but specifically Jaron has been in the news and not for positive things. People have called him a duck and believe that the way his Virgil Ortiz offer was handled by his side was an L. And I agree. And I've said the same thing. You guys could check those videos. It was mishandled. Either you're moving to 54 or you're not. And there's been a lot of double talk and there's been some inconsistencies from Team Boots. Like, I mean, I've already talked about it. You guys, it's up to you. If you want the best in the business and it's not even close, it's up to you to click on the video, subscribe, and all that. But I don't want to rehash all the stuff that I've already said. But Cliff Notes, Boots has said he didn't know anything that was going on and he had no clue that he was in negotiations with Virgil Ortiz and he vows to be more involved in the future, yada, yada, yada. But it's hard to believe because, one, why would a fighter, it's not like you're a journeyman, you're a champion. You guys see the IBF belt. Why would a fighter of his stature who shows a lot of promise, got Roy Jones comparisons, deal with Eddie Hearn, and, he's making some money, these types of things. Why would he be so out the loop like he claims? The other thing that didn't make sense with what Boots said, see, I'm a fair critic, is Boots said, I had a deadline to determine if I wanted to stay at 147 or to move up to 154 to fight Virgil Ortiz. So if you didn't know you were in negotiations, how do you know about a deadline? That doesn't even make sense. But leave it to your boy Ego to point out these inconsistencies. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't not know you're in fight negotiations with Virgil Ortiz, but at the same time, you're saying that you had a deadline to determine if you wanted to stay at 47 and try to unify. And I've already went over this. The unify looks like a pipe dream because Stanionis is likely to fight Giasov in March, probably on Tank's card. You have Barrios, who might get Pacquiao. He might fight Conor Benn, another Eddie Hearn fighter, Conor Benn. Brian Norman is likely to reschedule the fight, and you've already attempted that, and you couldn't see eye to eye in terms of money. So all this, I want to stay at 47 for unification, really doesn't make sense. So I would say the Teofimo fight is about the next best thing, and this would be a good save for Boots because it would be a good fight. People would anticipate it. You could put it in a couple different cities. As far as the fight, listen, Teofimo talks a lot. Him and his dad talk a lot. That's part of their shtick. And if he's confident and wants to fight, have at it. But my personal opinion, I just spent the first portion of this video of my speech talking about Boots is not in a favorable light over the Virgil Ortiz situation. But the difference between me and a lot of you is a lot of you guys let these little things that happen in boxing influence you to the point where you start talking crazy. I don't do that because I'm a man, and a man is in control of his emotions, and I am him. He is I, and I am him. So that being said, a lot of y'all talking crazy about Boots Ennis like he a trash fighter because of what happened. Me, on the same breath, I can say that the situation with Virgil Ortiz is not a good look, but I'm not going to trash Jaron Boots Ennis like all of a sudden he's garbage and, you know, he's not a good fighter. So I would picture if they do fight at 47, he has a significant advantage. I don't care about that Virgil Ortiz situation. That's his own isolated situation. If he fights Teofimo Lopez, pencil me in as somebody who believes Boots will beat Teofimo Lopez because Lopez talks a lot, but he would be moving up 7 pounds like a Will Smith movie, right? And he's moving up, hasn't done anything at 147. To me, I think Teofimo wants a payday. He already told you he's never cleared $1 million. So I think he just wants a big fight. And, you know, he might have girlfriend or ex-wife problems and stuff like that. So he's trying to get cashed out. And, you know, he's a fighter. Maybe he does believe he could beat Jaron Ennis or sees vulnerabilities. Because at the end of the day, in this boxing game, when you're down, people start calling you out and stuff. Like if you had a bad performance. And to be honest, Boots kind of had that. His last 2 performances, he was getting hit a little bit much. So maybe this made other people gain confidence. Because when Boots was knocking Delorme out in 1 round and Castillo Clayton out in 1 round, you didn't hear these people chomping at the bit. You didn't hear these talks about Teofimo or whoever wanting to move up and fight Boots Ennis. But that's how the game works. That's why you don't want to show too many of your flaws in your fights, because then the wolves is out, the vultures come out. So again, I said all that to say, if they do fight, good fight, I will watch it, I will cover it, I will support it. I'm picking Boots to beat Teofimo because I haven't seen anything from Teofimo. Other thing is, we could talk about Boots' flaws in his last 2 performances, getting hit too much and things like that. Karen Chukadzeyan, he's not a big name, but he's Ukrainian, and they got a great boxing school, and he's very crafty. Teo doesn't fight exactly like that. So Teofimo is a bit of a weird fighter because, like, you'll put him in with somebody that you don't think he can beat, or the sports book doesn't believe he'll beat, and then he'll beat him. Josh Taylor, Lomachenko. And I'm not saying these were my opinions, but I'm just saying the consensus. People thought he would lose those fights. Then you put him in lesser fights with Sandor Martin, and he gets dropped twice. I don't know if they counted both, but he basically got dropped twice and should have lost that fight. Put him in with Kambosos, he getting dropped in the first round, and he loses to Kambosos, right? So Teofimo's a bit of a character, and you don't really know what you're going to get with him. So as far as Boots, I would say Boots performance-wise is still more consistent. He's big for welterweight, And we never really heard Teofimo call out no dang Boots Ennis prior to this. So I don't know what this is about. And we'll see. Like I said, I'm not going to hold my breath and get all excited like some of you guys, because you guys fall for the okie doke. Because one thing that was very peculiar to me is I believe they said that they would try to make this fight for March 1st. And that's a huge red flag, because if I'm not mistaken, that's the same date that you have Gervonta Davis fighting. So I think that would be stupid. Gervonta Davis is fighting Lamont Roach. You can say whatever you want about the fight, but that's going to be a movie. So to stage this and on the same day, I don't really see that. Especially, you got to understand, it's a joint. It would be ESPN and DAZN. So why wouldn't you just do it on a day that's a less, like nothing else going on? That's a red flag to me, because that would be a dumb move, in my opinion, to stage a fight like this on the same day that Tank is fighting. So there's a lot of little things like that. Plus, we haven't really seen too many ESPN DAZN crossovers. And if we did, they weren't really pay-per-views. We seen like Maurice Hooker versus Jose Ramirez, but that was many years ago. I remember I was at Tank's fight, actually, since we're speaking of him, against Ricardo Nunes. And that was 2019 or something, right? Because they happened on the same day. I remember because I was in Baltimore, right? And my memory is impeccable. Memory of an elephant. Subscribe. So again, I'm not going to get too hyped. And, you know, we've seen this before where, oh, Shakur Stevenson's fighting Frank Martin. Oh, you know, we want Terrence Crawford when he was with Top Rank to fight Sean Porter. And it took like a year. And then it finally happened. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I will support the fight if Boots does fight Teofimo. It's going to be a race fight too. Let's just be real, because Teofimo will be talking that monkey talk and call Jaron a monkey. Yeah, we're going to see. You know, and the ESPN could keep the blacks and stuff. So it will be a fight where the fans are going to be all over the place. And, you know, we'll see. But that's really my introductory thoughts on the fight. I mean, credit to Teo if he really moves up and takes on a guy like Boots straight away, because the way I'm looking at it, I don't really see that being a good fight for him in terms of the outcome. But again, Teo sometimes surprises. Let me know what you guys think. And I'm gone.